Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Century Plyboards India Limited Q1 FY23 earnings conference call hosted by DAM Capital Advisors Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Asim Bharte from DAM Capital. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Melissa. Good evening, and on behalf of DAM Capital Advisors, I welcome you all to Century Plyboards Q1 FY23 conference call. We have the senior management online with us here. At the onset, I would like to congratulate the team on an excellent Q1 performance and wish them continued success ahead. Now I'll hand over the floor to Mr. Arun Julasaria, CFO of the company. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Q1 conference call of Century Ply. First of all, I'd like to speak the customary disclaimer that this call is just to discuss company's historical numbers and forward-looking statements, and in no way it should be construed as invitation to invest in the shares of the company. The results for the Q1 have already been put on company's website, stock exchange website, along with detailed analysis, and also mailed to you separately. So I will not spend more time in repeating those numbers, but I like to tell you that usually Q4 of every year is target and best quarter, and the cascading effect of that is spill over to Q1 also. But in our case, this time Q1 is also equally best quarter compared to Q4 of last year. Turnover is almost same, negligibly down by only 1.5%. But if you compare it YOY, it is almost double, higher by 96.4%. This Q1 was a challenging quarter because raw material prices were on higher side, but we could manage our profitability by higher volume. All our segments have done well. As usual, MDF has surpassed all its past records. In case of plywood, EBITDA margins are down by almost 4.5%, reasons for which will be explained by our MD in due course. With these words, not taking much time, I open the house for question and answers.
Thank you.
Hello.
I'm sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. This is Sanjay Agarwal. So I would like to make a little bit of a talk to everybody before the question answers are open. So thank you everyone for taking your valuable time out for attending the Q1 FY23 Century Plyboards Investor Conference Call. I am Sanjay Agarwal, Managing Director of Century Plyboards India Limited. I have alongside me Mr. Keshav Bhajanka, Executive Director, Mr. Arun Julasaria, CFO, and Mr. Nehal Shah, CSO and Head of Investor Relations. I presume that every one of you would have gone through our numbers in detail. Let me brief you some of the key highlights. After delivering record sales in Q2, Q3 and Q4 last year, it gives me immense pleasure to share that we have achieved sales of rupees 878.35 crores in the first quarter, usually which is the leanest quarter of the financial year, which is just a tad lower than the Q4 FY22 sales. Our plywood and particle board segment revenue records 100% year-on-year growth, while laminate and MDF segments revenue grew 86% and 71% year-on-year respectively for the quarter. Despite the sustained input cost pressure in core segment of plywood and laminate, we have been able to mitigate a large part of our gross margin pressure by taking corresponding price increases and also through operating leverage. Our overall gross margins were down nearly by 140 bps quarter-on-quarter to 34.1% in Q1 FY23. Driven by recent price hikes and/or a superior product mix, our laminate, MDF, and particle board segments reported gross margin improvement in Q1. However, our core plywood segment saw gross margin contraction of 3.70 bps quarter-on-quarter. Despite the overall gross margin pressure and our aggressive branding spends, the overall EBITDA margin of the quarter stood firm at 17.2%, down nearly 140 bps quarter-on-quarter. While our plywood division reported 10.4% EBITDA margin in Q1 driven by aggressive brand spends, lag effect of pass-on of recent price hikes and operating leverages, we still maintain 13 to 15% EBITDA margin guidance for FY23. This is likely to be driven by front loading of advertisement and promotion spends in Q1, full absorption of price hikes taken in Q1, and expected operating leverage. While MDF and particle board segments reported record high margin of 35 and 36% respectively, the laminate EBITDA margins, adjusted for BCG expenses, stood at impressive 16.4%. It may be noted that input cost inflation has softened a bit in last quarter. However, kraft paper and phenol prices have seen a further surge on a month-on-month basis. Timber prices continue to remain elevated, but the surge has settled down. Price increases taken in Q1, plywood 2%, premium plywood 3%, Scenic PF also 3%, and 7% in Scenic MR. Laminate 4% to 3% in 1 mm and 0.8 mm respectively. MDF nil. Particle board about 9%, 5% in April and 4% from 14th of June. Our MDF brownfield expansion at Hoshiarpur is as per schedule and is expected to come on stream by October 2022. Our South MDF capex has received all requisite approvals and the machinery has been ordered. We expect the facility to come on stream by second half of FY24. Our greenfield laminate manufacturing unit in Andhra would come up in 2 phases. The first phase is expected to become operational in Q2 FY24. Our working capital stands comfortable at 58 days in Q1 FY23, an improvement of about 5 days compared to last financial year. We remain a net cash positive company with net cash position of 184 crores as on 30th of June 22. Our Q1 FY23 ROCE stood at a healthy 29.36%. With this, I welcome you again all to this conference call and we open the conference to question and answers. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may enter star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If your questions have been answered and you wish to withdraw yourself from the queue, you may enter star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the first question from the line of Rahul Agarwal from InCred Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Congratulations on a very good set of results, sir. Sir, two questions and one clarification. Firstly, on the ply gross margins, they are still, look depressed at 28%. And you've already taken price hikes in 1Q. Would that be sufficient for us to go back on a normalized level?
You see, the price hikes have been, two reasons. One is the timber price hike. So that actually we have already factored in our price increase. And because we took it, little later, there is always a lag. So we increased the prices by 2 to 3%. But the gain in that quarter may be even less than 1% on the whole. So the whole effect will actually come in this quarter. So that is the first thing. Second price hike is because of, you can say, phenol. So phenol, yes, we expect phenol to again come down very soon because everything, all the, such products in the world are coming down, the prices are coming down. So that we have not taken. So we expect that due to leverage of our production quantity and the price coming down, we will be able to, take it forward and attend our original EBITDA of, say, 13 to 14%.
Got it, sir. You also mentioned some upfronting of A&P spend for plywood. Could you please quantify that? How much was that?
So that actually, we had announced in the last quarter also that this year we are going very aggressive as far as advertisement and promotion is concerned. So we have taken a very heavy budget. And most of it, a large part of it has been spent on IPL. That's why the first quarter actually bears the biggest brunt as far as plywood advertisement and promotion is concerned. So that itself, that one single item is actually costing 1.5% extra over and above the normal spend actually. So we expect that all these things will normalize in times to come.
Got it, sir. Second question was on MDF and particle board. Now, obviously, we have record operating margins of 35% plus. We all know that it will not sustain here. Going forward, it should come down.
Obviously,
But what is going in their favor? What is going in their favor of these products today, right now? Like, how long do you think this is sustainable?
See, we have always maintained that our, margin for MDF and particle board will be around 25%. But yes, because of certain factors, the markets are good, imports are not at all there, new production capacities are not coming up so fast. So all those factors, actually, the markets are good, so we are reaping the harvest actually at the moment. And we expect this to continue for at least a year. And we really don't know what will happen after a year. And the second thing we have done is actually the product mix also, what we are doing. About 70% of the particle board was being sold as a pre-lam and rest of it as a pre-lam. Now we have decided to increase this pre-lam to over 85% to 90%. So that is also making a little bit of a difference. Even in MDF, you will see that a pre-lam quantity has gone up by 2 percentage points. So that also affects the margin positively.
Got it, sir. Got it. And lastly, one clarification on the container freight business. I thought the slump sale was, earlier in November 21 when it was announced, it was about 52 crores. The press release yesterday talks about 33 crores. My sense is this slump sale is is done to Century Infra, which is a 100% subsidiary. So the pricing really doesn't matter. But just wanted to understand, why is the difference here?
You see, we have to consult. There may be an impact of actually income tax. So keeping in that in view, we have consulted with all the income tax consultants and chartered accountants and our auditor, and this is what is the best thing to do. So otherwise, we will come into net of some income tax. Why should? When it is going from one pocket to another pocket only of the same person.
Got it, sir. Got it. Yeah. Got it, sir. I'll come back in detail. Thank you so much and wish you very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Praveen Sahai from Edelweiss Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hi, Praveen. Hi.
Mr. Sahai, we are unable to hear you.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Praveen. Hi.
So
The first question is related to the utilization across the segment. How much that and wood and especially in the MDF, where we are.
Actually, your voice is not clear. Actually, no.
Clear now?
Mr. Sahai.
Clear now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is related to the utilization across the segment, especially the plywood and the MDF. Where we are in the utilization, can you give some numbers?
Yeah. Hi, Praveen. Capacity utilization in Q1 across product categories as under. Plywood is 82% versus 84% QOQ. Laminate 89% versus 97% QOQ. MDF is 98 versus 97% QOQ. And particle board is 120% versus 115% QOQ.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And the next question is, as sir has said about the realization in the MDF, pre-lam MDF. So, what's exactly the difference between the the pre-lam MDF and the MDF realizations?
Oh, now what is the difference in realization is not there in my hand right now actually, but the profitability is better. And
how much is that, sir? Sorry.
Just a second. If I have the data, I will. 31,000 plain, 44,000. Okay. So the realization is plain MDF realization is 31,000 rupees per cubic meter, and the pre-lam MDF is 44,000.
Okay.
But in MDF, the pre-lam sales is only up to 20%. In particle board, it's very high. Most of the particle board is sold as pre-lam actually.
Okay. And the last question related to the raw material, as you had said that the timber price is still continuing on the higher side. So, do you expect the price increase in this quarter as well, second quarter?
You see, the price increase in the timber we have already passed on. Total has been passed on. The effect has not come in till now because there is always a lag in making up the mind and passing it on to the markets. There is always a lag. After that, the timber prices are stable now, which I spoke also in my speech. So I don't think that immediately there will be an increase in timber prices. But historically, whenever there is a price increase in timber, we have very successfully and easily, because the whole timber industry, whole plywood industry is affected, so it's passed on. Sooner or later, but maybe with some lag, it will be passed on. So if there is any another increase, it will be passed on.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking my questions. All the best.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Girish Chaudhary from Spark Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for taking my question.
Hi, Girish.
Firstly, you did share the reasons for higher NP spend, but it would be helpful if you can share the exact quantum of NP spend this quarter versus last quarter.
Can't hear clearly actually your voice.
Hello.
So yeah. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, is this clear now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. No, so I was just wanting to know the exact quantum of A&P spend this quarter versus last quarter.
Okay.
This is, data that we would not like to disclose the exact quantum. However, as the MD has already stated, there was a front loading of A&P spend that took place in Q1 compared to the rest of the year.
Okay, got it. And secondly, any thoughts on setting up or increasing particle board capacity?
Particle board capacity, you see, we are yet to take a final decision on, because we took a decision that we will be going in for a multi-daylight hot press, and then there again our mind is still confused that whether we should go for a continuous line. So still the debate is on, technically and commercially both angles. The debate is on. I hope we will be able to decide within next 1.5 months. But the decision of expansion is sure. The area is decided. But of course, a decision is a decision. As long as it is not made, it is not made.
Sure.
Yeah. And these decisions are actually very long term. You see, putting up a plant that will be affecting this company for next 50 years. So there is no problem in taking another 2 months or 3 months in taking such decisions. Hello.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Mr. Achal from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the
Hi,
opportunity. Hi, sir. Congratulations for the great numbers.
Thank you.
What I wanted to check was, in terms of the mix, is there any change in the mix QOQ in the plywood business in terms of the premium and Panic and Panic MR?
You see what happened, April was normal, June was normal. May, I think, whole country, all the products were little affected. Even plywood was affected in every way. But the numbers came back in the month of June. And again, even in July, it seems to be normal. So, yes, it was affected in May a little bit. But yes, we are back on track.
Right. But specifically in case of plywood, is growth in the non-premium higher than the premium segment in terms of the volume growth?
You see, generally you have seen that the premium segment growth is lower. The non-premium segment growth is quite high. And that is actually our decision and clarity of the market, that the belly of the market is where we will be able to grow. The top angle is already filled in by 2-3 people, and none of us are going to relent our market share to anybody else. So the growth there is certainly lower, and the non-premium segment is growing faster and better.
Is it possible to share in terms of the mix? How was it for the first quarter?
Numbers right now is little difficult. I think you can connect with Nehal later on maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. My second question was, with respect to timber price, can you help us in terms of what is the extent of increase on a YY basis for the plywood?
See, the core prices went up by about 5%, and which is about 50% or 52% of our, plywood cost. So about the price increase was actually, the cost increase was about 2 to 2.25%. And that is what exactly, a little more than that only we have passed on actually.
So the core timber price is up 5% YY for first quarter FY23.
Core timber. QOQ. That is from the QOQ.
Okay. But what about YY, sir? How much would that be up?
Oh,
like, is it?
That data is...
YOY, we will get back to you shortly. Definitely higher, but you can connect with Nehal and he'll give you the data.
Got it. And just a question on the MDF industry. Obviously, at this point in time, things look great. But if you could help us in terms of what is because we sense that the container freight rates have come down, imports are going up. So can you help us in terms of what is the landed price for import and how does it compare?
The freight, inward freight for MDF particle board had gone down to $20 to $23 about 3 years back. After that, right now, it is not less than $100 still.
Okay.
So there is no chance of any import. A little bit here and there, people may still try and do, but there is no chance of any import at the moment. Especially particle board, it's absolutely zero. And for MDF, still there is no chance. And especially for the North India, so it's absolutely impossible because once you import and then you now carry forward to the north, it's an impossible task, impossible thought actually. And we believe that in times to come, we are becoming very efficient, we are becoming larger in our quantities. Whether I expect India to export MDF in 2 years' time. By making some profit, not because that we have to just consume our capacities, but by making some profit, we will be able to export MDF in 2 years' time.
Right. Understood. And just another question with respect to, the capacity. Can you help us understand, is there any capacity addition even in the smaller unorganized player segment as well?
You see, there is always one or another, but I don't have the data at this moment. Every year, one.
It's
I
going
think.
up
I think one.
Yeah.
You see, there is always. I think one small manufacturer comes up every 1 year or 1.5 years. One small manufacturer comes up, say maybe 200 cubic meter a day. Some large plants like our plant in south and our 400 cubic meter capacity in north. Then. Exxon is also, I think, expanding the capacities, but none of these capacities are due before next year. So we expect the market to grow by 20% every year in MDF. So yes, whenever a new capacity comes, there will be a little bit of fight in the market, but it's not going to be a big deal because 20% growth in a particular segment is a huge growth actually. So if the present total sale is 5,000 cubic meter, you are already grown in a year by 1,000 cubic meter per day. So in next 2 years' time, I think market will be ready to absorb all the expansions which are coming.
Understood. That's very helpful. I'll come back in the queue, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Shrenik Bachawat from LIC Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the question. So my first question is regarding the demand scenario, sir. Where are we seeing the strong demand from? Mainly it is the metros or tier 2 and below cities?
Actually, we really don't know this. What happens, any company which of our size has really done quite well within the metros. So our expansion and our growth mostly comes from tier 2, tier 3. But is there really the tier 2, tier 3 growing more than the metro? I don't think I will be able to answer that question. But yes, as far as our company is concerned, we are growing much more in the tier 2, tier 3 at the moment. And that is where we are putting in our expansions for new areas, new towns, new people being hired out there, new dealers being appointed out there. All those growth inputs are happening in tier 2, tier 3 only.
Sure, sir. And my second question, sir, could you throw some light on how is the unorganized ply sector performing as of now? And the strong volumes that you have delivered, is it the result of market share gains from the unorganized players or the industry is growing at this pace?
Again, I have always told that we do not have any reliable study or reliable data. But if you see, if we have achieved the 1,400 crore plywood and if you say that we are still a 20,000 crore market, then actually it's a 7%. So certainly our market share has grown. And this market share mostly is growing in the non-premium segment, or you can say the middle segment of semi. The premium segment is growing. From whatever we were selling, I think we have grown in last 2-3 years. We have grown about 30% in that segment also. But the bigger gains, even in terms of the new dealer appointments, everything is happening more in the non-premium segment.
And sir, in the ply and laminate segment, we delivered very strong volume growth of around 10-12% on 3-year CAGR basis. So can we take that as an assumption for the next 3 years for the ply and laminate segments that we can grow at 10% CAGR for the next 3 years?
Laminate, we are putting up a plant in south. We have 2 expansions coming up, one after another, 2 phases. And as far as plywood is concerned, actually we believe that we can grow faster, we can grow more, but maybe some mistakes on our part is keeping us where we are actually. That is how we feel. But yes, it's not an organized industry. It's not like cement or it's not like tiles where you get people who really know the businesses. Here we are actually, learning and growing and deciding new innovative ideas of selling and marketing and succeeding. So I believe that yes, we have good possibility.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Sneha Talreja from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Hi, Sneha.
Congratulations and
Thank
congratulations, sir, on great set of numbers. So while you mentioned that the industry scenario is of course not known and how much imports will be there and how many capacities will be added in the MDF segment over the next 2 years, I just want to understand your vision. What is your target this particular time when you're coming up with such a big capacity in MDF division, both brownfield as well as greenfield? Any target utilization that you set yourself for first year, second year, or third year operation, or over the period of 2 to 3 years that you would like to mention?
Well, let Keshav reply to this.
Hi, Sneha. So going forward, if you look at the past, we have been the fastest to utilize our capacities within the MDF or the particle board space, and I think that trend is likely to continue in the near future. Once our capacities commence, our target is that within the first 3 years, we will reach 100% capacity utilization. So I think, the breakup of that, the staggering of that could differ slightly based on when the plant comes online. But yes, within the first 3 years, we should be able to reach 100% capacity utilization.
That's similar to what you did in the past.
Yes.
And that's while maintaining your 25% last margin guidance at this point of time?
Yes.
Okay. Understood, Keshav. Also, just wanted to understand the amount of price hikes that we've specifically taken only in Q1 FY23 with regards to all the segments, in case someone can help.
Price rise, actually, I spoke about the price rise. I can repeat it. In Q1, we have taken plywood 2% in premium, 3% in scenic PF, and 7% in scenic MR. Laminate, we took 4% in 1 mm, 3% in 0.8 mm. MDF mill, particle board 9%. Two different, one in 5%, another is 4%.
Understood, sir. So thanks a lot, sir. And all the very best.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Sneha.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Jignesh Karnani from GMO. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, hi, Jignesh.
Hi. Sir, in plywood, we took around 3.5% price hike in the fourth quarter, I think. Out of 8% price hike we take out of in the entire year. And at the top, you said that we have taken 2.5-3% in the first quarter, maybe 1% maybe full impact of that. So almost 4% price hike in last 6 months. Despite that, our gross margin QOQ has deteriorated by close to around 190 basis points. So product mix has deteriorated a lot in favor of economic segment or anything other which can impacted the gross margin?
No, I explained, I think, a little bit earlier that 1.5% is actually because of extra spend.
No, but I'm saying in fourth quarter we have taken a 3.5% price hike.
Okay, I will request Nehal to explain this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi. So gross margins, yeah, you're right. That has come down, but that's because of a couple of reasons. One is the lag effect of price increase, and second is as MD said, in the month of May, because of the slowness in the market, the mix was high towards the non-premium segment, and which is what has driven gross margins down. But as we said, June has come back to normalcy, and so we expect the gross margins also to recover subsequently.
So you don't expect that product mix should continue to remain more toward the economic segment, and hence which will impact the gross margin structurally?
Sorry, can you repeat?
So you do not expect that product mix will continue to remain more in favor of the economic segment as the growth is more coming from that, and which can structurally impact the gross margin?
Not much. So, yeah.
You see, the premium segment is not growing as fast as the non-premium segment.
Yes.
And that has been the thing I think we have been telling from the very beginning. This is the belly of the market where actually about 40% of the market lies actually. So I don't think, yes, overall if you can say that it will come down, but then you see our what we have told always that we will be trading between 13 to 15% total EBITDA margin actually we have been saying. So
So what I'm saying is the downside risk to that margin band is more and more share of plywood growth is coming from the economic segment?
No, but with that you have to understand that by the better utilization of our machinery, our costs, everything is 50% or 55% or 60% is the cost of raw material. The rest of it is actually overheads. The more we sell, actually we will have more leverage as far as our profits are concerned. So if we can grow more in premium, you don't need an accountant to tell us that yes, we will make better profits. But when to grow in that segment is not that much possible. Yes, the more important is that we don't go down in that segment. So for that we have taken all our, the incentives, the increments. There are locks applied. If you don't sell the premium segment, automatically the supply of non-premium segment gets stopped to that branch. So automatically, these people have to take care of it. They have no choice.
Sure. Second thing on particle board. So I think in MDF share you mentioned that at least for 1 year margin may remain elevated. And then once a new capacity comes, margin might taper up to 25 kind of band. And how is the demand supply scenario in particle board? Because I think no new capacity is coming as per our knowledge in the particle board. So to what level the margin can remain at elevated level?
You see, particle board, small plants of this 150 cubic meters keep on coming, mostly in, you can say, either in North India or in Gujarat. So some of them are based upon the sugar cane also, bagars. We are very seriously contemplating putting up either a 20 roll manufacturing unit for maybe about 800 cubic meters a day, or maybe another plant for 400 cubic meters a day, but we have not taken a decision till now. Presently, yes, the demand is good. That's why in Q1 we have been able to increase the prices to that 9%, which is actually a formidable, unthinkable kind of a price rise within a quarter actually. So I don't see that there will be even going ahead. I tell you, to import particle board because it is a cheaper product. The freight costs are much higher in percentage, and I don't think the freight cost will go down to those $20-25 in next 2-3 years also. So I don't think particle board will be imported anymore in India.
So then margin will remain elevated 35% plus for the entire year, or maybe slightly more?
I cannot say that. I will still maintain that we will do everything to manage the 25%. Everything else is actually, we are reaping some harvest and let's enjoy it.
Understood. Sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and we have done some small things. I told that prelam, we are increasing the prelam sales in the market, and we are also looking at selling most of it near our plant. So we are discouraging the sales away from our plant. So that is also increasing a little bit of profits. So all those things are going on continuously.
Sure. Okay. Sure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Alisha Mahavla from Envision Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Thank you for taking
my
question. So my question was with respect to particle board and the capacity. So you mentioned that you're already at about 120% capacity utilization. You also believe that the margins will continue to stay at elevated level. There is no large capacity coming. The only, I think, other organized player will probably be getting capacity 2-3 years down the line. But yet you are not adding capacity in this segment. Can you please elaborate on the same? And it was part of the plan we chalked out when we said that we want to double our revenues in about 5 years.
No, we have just mentioned that we are definitely going to go for an expansion. It is just coming to a decision as to what unit we want to set up, whether continuous press or a multi-ply press. And you see, these investments are not there for a year or 2 years. We sweat our assets for the next 20-30 years. So I think another couple of months, you will definitely see a decision coming in the particle board segment as well.
And this will be a greenfield or a brownfield, or that is also yet to be decided?
We will update you as and when we come to a final decision.
Sure. And there was also some capacity expansion for the plywood that was being planned?
Yeah, that was more to do with the debottlenecking exercise. So as we said on the last call, our capacity now stands at 3 lakh CBM, and this year with the kind of debottlenecking exercise we are going through, this capacity would increase to 3,30,000. So straight away we'll add another 10% to the existing capacity. Plus we are utilizing our utilization levels are at 85%. So we have enough capacity for next 2 years to service the market.
Sure. And just one last clarification again, based on the capacity utilization, it seems like any volume growth in this year will largely only be in the particle board, in the ply or the laminate space, because the other two segments currently seem to be almost completely utilized.
No, MDF, we are putting up that plant of 350 cubic meters, which will be online from September end or in October of this year. So I think we'll be able to utilize the capacity for last 4 months at least of this year. So that will certainly give us some extra in MDF.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Nikhil Agarwal from VT Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Just a couple of questions. Are we facing any kind of timber availability issues for plywood and MDF?
There is no timber availability issue at all. Yes, in last quarter, some of the prices of timber in North India, not in South India, North India, increased a little bit, which we have passed on to our consumers.
Okay. And
right now the prices are stable. Even in North India or South India, both they are stable.
Okay, great. And have timber prices for plywood increased, or is it for MDF as well?
You see, it has increased for both, because actually these are related in one area in northern zone. The prices have increased, so it has increased for MDF as well as plywood. In southern India, for our particle board and plywood plants, it has not increased.
Okay, sir. And but we haven't taken any price hikes in the MDF segment. So any reason for that? Because the timber prices have increased, but we haven't taken any price hikes in MDF.
You see, the reason being maybe that these are for MDF. Actually, this is not a very good season. That is number one reason. So the season for MDF will start even 2 months later. So before that, to actually get into the market and try to fight it out is not so good. And I think we have compensated that increase by other ways, by increasing prelam, by increasing our capacity utilization, by lowering our other costs. So I think that is reflecting in our profit margins also. So we felt that it is not required to increase the prices of MDF. The costlier you make, that has been MDF has been taking away market share from lower segment plywood.
Yes.
Lower segment plywood becomes cheaper than MDF. Then again, MDF will be replaced by plywood.
Yes. No, we don't want that. Okay, sir. Sir, and just one clarification. Sir, has your plywood capex been delayed or anything? The plywood plant which is coming up in Punjab.
You see, in India today, everybody in the world is talking of China plus one theory, but India is still unable to take the full advantage. The biggest issue in India is to get land. There are many multinationals, I think, want to come to India and they want to put up plants, manufacturing capabilities. And we are also, we are in Hoshiarpur, we already have a plant. For our another plant, we are trying very hard to get a land. Twice already we have paid advances and we have got that money back because we could not take the deal through.
Okay.
The same thing you have seen in our Andhra MDF plant also. The delay was only because of land. Once we have got the land, we are moving very fast. The machinery orders have been finalized. Now the contractors have been finalized. So all those things are moving quite fast. The approvals are coming in. So the land in India is a huge thing. It is not in our control. You see, one single piece of land you have to buy from 40, 50, 60 different owners. It's a huge issue.
Okay. So have we procured the land as of now, or
No. It's still in the process, and that's why what we have done is actually not to suffer. We have increased our capabilities little bit in all our plants. We have debottlenecked the things, and that's how we have increased our capacity in our existing plant by 10%.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, sir. That's it from me.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Rajesh Kumar Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good evening. Am I audible? Yeah. Sir, my question pertains to first on the laminate. Where is this capacity expansion coming up for you?
We have a capacity expansion that is coming up in South India. It is going to be 4 press expansion in 2 phases. Phase 1 will be 2 hot presses and phase 2 will be 2 hot presses.
Okay, and location? Where in South? Is it finalized?
It is going to be alongside our MDF unit in the same compound, which is in the Gopavaram district, Gopavaram region of Kadapa district in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. So, among the bigger capacities, you would be one of the, maybe the only one with big capacities in South. Is that understanding right?
No, there are other players who have capacities in the South, but yes, we are coming up with a big capacity in the South.
Yeah, and from a bigger capacity perspective, okay. And sir, on the particle board, could you, let us know what capacities are coming up in India in next 1-2 years by other players in the market?
See, there are a lot of small capacities that are coming from unorganized players. It is very difficult to quantify because those decisions are very sporadic and plants they buy a second-hand plants, etc. But yes, there are 2 players who are planning to come up with continuous presses, one being Merino Industries and second being Greenlam Industries. So these 2 are planning to come with continuous presses over the course of the next year to 2 years.
Okay, and what would be this Merino? What is the capacity they are adding, sir?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And in the laminate business, again, the margin this quarter and with the price hike that we have taken, do you expect margins to remain strong as we have seen in Q1?
Yes. I think laminates margins are going to be looking similar to or perhaps slightly higher than what they were in Q1.
Okay, great. Great, sir. I'll come back in queue. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Rishabh Bothra from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir, and
congratulations
on the set of numbers.
Thank you.
Basically, 2 questions, one on the raw material side and the other on finished goods side. In raw materials, whom do we compete in terms of acquiring raw material, and how is the process like? Is it bidding? Is it international price driven? How are
which product are you talking? Is it MDF or is it plywood?
I mean the log side.
Yeah, but for MDF, if we are talking of MDF, then we are fighting with paper manufacturers actually. People like ITC or Bhadrachalam and all those people who manufacture paper. So because the raw material is same. And if you are talking about plywood,
same belt? They source it from the same belt? Same region?
Yes, because there are paper industries in north and there are paper industries in south. So the people in south procure from the south plantations and the north procure from the north plantations. And if you are talking of plywood, then we are competing only with other plywood manufacturers only. Because it requires bigger girth, bigger diameter of the timber, which happens in maybe about 6 years or 6 or 7 years. And it becomes costlier, so no other industry can pay that price, but plywood can.
Okay. And how is the pricing derived like? International pricing or auction pricing? How is it?
International pricing, actually we have practically no competition because no logs are coming from anywhere in India now. Neither India is exporting anywhere except some decorative species. So the decorative species are not produced in India except some teak. So there is no competition, so there is no knowledge also, you see. No need, so no knowledge.
And in terms of procurement, since veneer is a slightly premium product, so are these specialized personnel required to visit those forests, or how is it? And how is the...
We have our buyers. We have our buyers, people who understand this subject very well. So they keep on traveling to Europe or America or South of America, and we know who are the suppliers for which species. So we keep regularly in touch, and we make maybe 2 or 3 visits in a year to procure. So go personally, the buyer goes there, he personally passes the consignment, he notes down all the details, and then it is imported.
Good. And so on the finished goods side, can you elaborate on the end users who are buying our products, let's say architect, contractor, or is it home buyers, or is it institutional buyers?
Which product are you talking again? Different products are bought by different people. So
Okay,
plywood, if you are talking, so plywood is bought by the consumer, you see. Mostly by consumer, and some for big projects like Parliament, Indian Parliament is being done, so that plywood will be bought by a big contractor. If you are talking of MDF, MDF is bought by mostly original equipment OEMs. We call them OEMs like Godrej or Featherlight, and there are thousands of them in the country now. So they are the people who buy particle board and MDF.
So our online retail furniture shops are also your customers, type of Ply, Urban Ladder, or IKEA?
They are big customers of ours.
Okay. So if from next quarter onward, if you could highlight what proportion of your sales is value added and how much is it institutional buyers in different segment. I mean, you can club it under one row item.
Yes, that is data that
it would be helpful.
It is actually a business secret, so that is data we would not want to disclose.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I'll come back in queue.
Sure. Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Asim Bharde. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Just one question from my side. Given the Q1 performance, would you want to update your volume expectations for FY23 across segments compared to what you had said in Q4?
I think we maintain the same. I think Nehal can repeat it. Yes.
Yeah, so we would reiterate our guidance, which we gave on the call last time. So our endeavor is to grow by 20% plus for the company as a whole. For plywood, we expect 15% volume growth and 20% value growth. For laminate, would be 15% volume and value. For MDF, would be 20% plus volume and value. And for particle board, would be 10% volume and 20% value. Having said that, yes, we've grown by 94% in the first quarter. So technically, that means we would grow by almost 7%. But our endeavor would still be to grow in double digits for the rest of the 3 quarters.
I think the 9-month volume expectation would be flattish across segments if you just maintain your Q4 volume growth. That's why the question.
Exactly. So that is what I said. Because we have grown so well in first quarter, our endeavor is to grow by double digits going forward over the next 9 months.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Priyam Khimawat from ASK Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, team, for an excellent set of results. 2 questions from my end. Firstly, on MDF, you alluded that despite the fall in container freight prices, imports are still not feasible and things look good for the next 1 year. But just hypothetically, if we were to say that imports start coming in, will it impact the margins to the extent it did in last cycle, or because of our various initiatives like increasing share of prelam, etc., the impact would not be that much? Because when I look at some volume data, we sold around 20,000 CBM of prelam on an annual basis in FY19 and 20. But now in just 1 quarter, we've sold around 10,000 CBM. So just wanted to understand this from your end.
You see, there is no chance of any import. Why I say? Because the cost of import, the only logistic cost is $100, which is very, very high. With 8,000 rupees is only, per CBM is only the import cost. But if you say that yes, if it is imported, it will start impacting the MDF prices. There is no two things. If it is imported, that means it's feasible. That means it is coming at a price which is lower than our prices. So the moment that happens, yes, our prices will have to go down a little bit to adjust.
Okay, so even higher end MDF is impacted in a similar manner if imports start coming in?
Very frankly, no. Because the imports are of only plain MDF, and prelam MDF is only because they are very specific. Somebody wants 100 pieces, somebody wants 50 pieces of a particular color. But what happens, there are people who are only laminators. So they can fill in there. So once the plain MDF starts coming in, it is going to impact everything, you see. But I don't see at all any possibility in near future, at least next 1 year time. Rather more, as far as logistic costs are concerned, the shipping across the world, the way it has changed, I don't think it will settle down in less than next 2 to 3 years, because the number of ships required to fill in the requirement is huge, and those ships to really be made and put into service is a long-term task. It's not a small 1 year or 2 year task.
Fair enough, sir. Sir, and for a brownfield of 400 CBM in North, we had earlier highlighted that margins might be slightly lower because we will have to procure timber at higher levels due to some shortages. Any update on the same?
You see, again, we expect the moment we go for a higher volume, there may be, because any business should expect this. But the way the markets are, maybe we should not. Maybe we will not have to compromise with our prices. But you don't know how the market reacts at that time. Even if it reacts maybe 1% or 2% here and there, we are already, whatever we want to achieve is 25% and you are already at 35%. So I don't think there is a need to worry.
So my question was not in terms of selling price. It was more in terms of cost, in terms of what we procure our timber.
But the moment, you see, the more the chances are actually because of this 300 CBM, there is a huge timber market. So that will not increase the prices of timber too much. But it can impact the prices in the market of our finished product. Temporarily, I believe that is always usually a temporary thing. When a new capacity comes in, the other players are also little doubtful. They want to secure their dealers and their share in the market. So everybody reacts a little bit by 1%, 0.5%, 2% here and there. But it settles down. In 3 months to 6 months time, it settles down and it's okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Kushagra from Old Bridge Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Hi, Kushagra.
Hi, sir. Just one question. So basically, related to your imports, if you remove the container freight cost, which has increased a lot, how competitive would be the prices of domestic players versus, let's say, import prices? And a related question is, you also made a remark that the Indian players are becoming more and more efficient, right? I just wanted to pick your thoughts on where is the better efficiency coming from, because some of the largest players out there are basically 2x, 3x size in terms of MDF capacities right there, right? So isn't the economies of scale better for outside players versus...
Yes. That is not a wrong thing at all. But then you see, yesterday's manufacturer like Green, who was manufacturing maybe 500, 600 cubic meters in North, today he has a 1,000 cubic meter plant and he might be expanding to another. So he will be a 2,000 cubic meter producer from 600 cubic meter. Is not it? Then because of this market conditions now, his cost of interest, his cost of operations, everything is now going to go down or has already gone down. So all these things are going to help us. And the prices are not going to be the prices like earlier prices. The prices are higher in the market. So at that time, maybe the imports were at $220 to $30 today, and it's not available at even $300 FOB.
Right.
So that's why I believe that both the sides, you see, will be becoming more efficient because our size is increasing. We are understanding the business much better. And I believe that the prices in the international market will not go down to that level. So both sides we are going to have an advantage.
Got it. And if we adjust for the container freight cost, what would be the difference between the prices?
I think container freight cost right now, I don't have the numbers, but at that time, say 3 years back, it used to be just $25 per cubic meter. And I think Kesav has some idea. Kesav can say.
I think, if you remove container freight, then the cost of production for us will be very similar to international players. So we are definitely very competitive.
Okay. Got it. Sure. Thanks you. Thanks and all the best.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, we will take one last question from the line of Rishikesh Bhagat from Kotak Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi. Good evening, team.
Hi, Rishikesh.
Few questions. Hi. Sir, congratulations on great performance. So, few questions. Firstly, on the laminate capacity expansion, what will be the timeline of this expansion that you have highlighted?
Hi, Rishikesh. So in laminate, there are two expansions that are taking place. There's one press that we are adding in Calcutta, which should commence within the course of the next 2 quarters. So that is going to be a capacity expansion of close to 14 to 15%. Regarding the south capacity, we are expecting for that to commence production by Q2 of next financial year.
Okay. Thank you.
Phase 1.
Second question is on the has there been any price correction undertaken post the recent commodity cost correction in any of the product categories?
What do you mean by correction? Is lowering of the prices?
Yeah.
We have increased prices in most of our items except MDF. MDF we have not increased; it is stable. And all other products we have taken. In plywood we have taken 2, 3, and 7% for different products. In laminate also we have taken 3 to 4%. In particle board we have taken 9%. So,
okay.
Yeah. There is no lowering down till now.
Okay.
Yes, all these things will keep happening. In some time in future, we will have to reduce the prices at some time.
Okay. Sure. Thanks. The other last question on the margin side, I think I don't know the exact margin, but what I wanted to understand is that on the current quarter margins, if I have to look at it from the point of view of non-recurring expenditure, when I say non-recurring from the point of view of probably 1 or 2 years point of view, it will be largely the ad spends which are above normal. And is there a payment to consultancy also, BCG engagement that we used to do in this current quarter numbers?
Yeah. Right now, BCG, we are doing most payment is from the decorative portion. The laminate side is happening most of the payments. We may engage BCG in future for other things also, but then that will be as and when they come. So when they come at that time, maybe there is some, impact on the bottom line. But then we have seen and we are very, very convinced with their results. So that's a long-term gain only.
Sure. And it's not a question about whether you are gaining any benefit or not. I understand you have gained the benefit, but just wanted to understand from the point of view of normalized margins. Sure. Thank you.
So Rishikesh, just to end this conversation, you can safely assume 11 to 12 crore, which was spent on behalf of additional brand spend and BCG, which adds up almost 1.5% to the total revenue which we posted in Q1.
Okay, so if in this, I'm talking more from 1 or 2 years perspective, as and when if BCG engagement ends and probably this ANP spend normally, so you have these levers internally from margin point of view.
Yes, absolutely.
Assuming this inflationary environment sustains.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question, and we will now close the question queue. I would like to hand the floor back to the management for closing comments. Please go ahead.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience and attending our Q1 call. We assure you that the management will be trying its best to do better and better in times to come. Thank you. See you during our next call after 3 months.
Thank you, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of DAM Capital Advisors Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.
Thank you.